Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Cecile and today I'll be sharing some pumpkin chapatis, or in Swahili better known as chapati za malenge. It's one of my favorite way to enjoy chapati. You can have them plain, but this is how I enjoy them most of the time. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share and come back for more. So to begin with the chapati, I used a small to medium sized pumpkin, slice it up, and then there's two ways of making the pumpkin. You can either steam it or you can boil it. For this method, I boiled it, and when boiling, ensure they're very well boiled, or otherwise you'll be left with lumpy pumpkins. To check how far my pumpkins have cooked, I use a knife and I pierce them. If the knife goes through like easily, they're cooked. If there's a little bit of tension, they're not cooked. Okay, so here I have drained the water, and please do not do this when the pumpkins are hot, otherwise you're going to burn. I did burn my hands for a while, then I quit, but ensure they are well warmed, and then you can blend them. There's two options: you blend, you use the fork to mash them, or the back of the wooden spoon or wooden roller, which is what I used. The measurement of flour to pumpkin puree is 4 cups of flour to 2 cups of pumpkin puree, but I started with 3 cups because I did not want to overdo the flour over the pumpkin puree. So 3 cups of flour now, and then 1.5 teaspoon of salt to 2 teaspoons of sugar. It's optional, but it enhances more flavor. I started by mixing it up using my spoon because it was hot, and then using a 1/4 cup of oil, I did half and half, which was around 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. First in the mixture, knead it by hand when it's a little bit warm, not hot, because if your puree is very hot, you'll burn. And then I added the extra 1 cup of flour, but in bits, simply because I do not want to make my mixture, the dough, to be thick and hard. I just want it to be soft and smooth, so better adding flour bit by bit than doing it all at once and then you have to add more water. Scrape down the dough that is in the bowl and then add it into the dough that is on the working surface. Knead it lightly, do not overwork the dough, because remember it's gluten, and when gluten is overworked it becomes a bit stiff. So knead it just lightly, and if it gets sticky, feel free to add in more flour or less flour. It's better to add more flour bit by bit than later on. This is the slap method that we use when we're making bread, so it works well for me as well as making chapati or any buns. When making chapati, remember, let your hands tell you when the dough is ready. If it gets a little bit tacky, add in a little bit more oil. If it gets a little bit too smooth and sticky, add a little bit flour. Do not overdo it, because when the dough is ready, your hands will feel it, and the board where you're kneading the dough will not be sticky anymore. You'll see at the end when I'm done, you'll find out that afterwards I added a little bit more flour because the dough was getting a little bit too sticky, and then it did not stick on my work surface. So let your hands tell you, and also look at the work surface and you'll know if the dough is ready or not. After letting the dough rest for around an hour, you will tell that it's soft enough and it's not sticky, because even it did not stick in the bowl. Make tiny balls. This is one method, or you can roll it all out. I prefer making tiny balls at times, or if I do not have enough time, I just roll the whole thing out and oil it. This is the stage where we will have to oil each ball one by one, roll it out so that we can get the, when your chapati is ready, it will be like flipping out. I don't know how to explain it, but you'll find that it's soft, it's smooth, and you can peel it out. Oh, that's the exact word, peel it out. When oiling the balls, do not make like large circles of the dough that you're making. Just make medium size, and then you put a teaspoon of oil, spread it around, cut like half, not fully halfway, almost a quarter way, and then roll it out. You'll see from the example how it's done. Repeat this step to all the dough that you have covered, and ensure that it's well covered so that it does not dry out. Later on, let it rest for 30 minutes, because the gluten has been overworked and it needs to rest so that you can roll out without the baking, the dough coming back together. Lightly flour the work surface and also your wooden rolling pin, and then roll out to ensure all sides and also the middle part is well rolled out. Do not make it too thin, because your chapati will end up becoming hard, and do not make it too fat, because you'll not get the ones we call in Swahili vitabu pages kurasa, the peels. It will not peel out well. Just, you see, that's the size, not too thin, not too thick, and on a medium heat pan. Okay, also you realize that your dough will be swelling in a way, in a kind of way. Do not panic, because that means you have kneaded the dough very well. If the dough is not well kneaded, it might swell, but not that much. Mine is swelling well, and on low medium heat. Do not cook it on high heat, because you will burn, and then instead of cooking your chapati, you'll be burning it, in short. Okay, so as you're cooking your chapati on medium heat, not high heat, add a tablespoon of oil. A tablespoon is enough. If you put too much oil, it will be like frying, like, frying. So a tablespoon of oil is enough. Spread it all around, and then, how should I say, flip it. Yes, flip your chapati. Ensure it's well cooked. You see on this chapati, the ends on the corners, they're not fully cooked. I'll show you the trick on what my mama taught me to ensure that your chapati is cooked evenly. If you're using a non-stick pot, please, I insist, do not use the wooden spoon, because do not use a metallic spoon. My apologies, because metallic spoon will scratch your non-stick pot. Flip it again. You see, this one is well cooked, and then you cook for around a minute. Fold it. When folding it, that means that you bring the ends towards the center of the pot, ensuring that all your chapatis cooked through thoroughly. Not all heat are the same on the cook stove, and not all heat is evenly distributed on the cook stove. Warning, do not overfold your chapati, otherwise it's going to break. Repeat this with all your chapati, and do not forget to multitask. As your chapati is cooking just a little bit, you roll it out, you fold, you turn it, you flip it, any way you want to call it, and then you keep rolling so that you can ensure that every time one chapati is out of the pot, the other one is already rolled and it gets in the pot. It's multitasking when making chapati. If you can't, please get help from a friend, and always check before putting the oil. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Before putting the oil, just ensure it's well, you check it that it's well browned and not burnt or undercooked. You'll get your chapatis cooking very well, and they'll be delicious, trust me. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Actually, I forgot to say that, if you like this recipe, and come back for more. If you like the recipe, do not forget to come back to my channel, subscribe, like, share the video so that many more people can notice and know that there is a video out there. Please, thank you so much for the support that you've given me since we started, and God bless you all, and a happy new year full of blessings, a prosperous one. And take care, please take care of yourselves and stay safe so that we can finish all this COVID drama. And stay safe. God bless you all. Subscribe, like, share, and come back for more. Bye.